Welcome to another episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Stevie Bullets. What's up,
Hey,
man?
hey, what's going on, my man?
How you
Glad to be
doing?
back on your show.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to have you back. You got a great story, man. A lot of
Thank you.
people get inspired by your story. They tell me.
Yeah, so they call me Stevie Bullets. I'm from Cicero, Illinois. Currently doing a documentary right now with James Forney, Joey Seifert, Octane Rich Media. Um, we're also doing a true crime book, nonfiction, with Chip McGregor. Also, shout out to my guy Cyril DePaggio down in Miami, Mob King. Look for him on the. So, basically, I got a story. My documentary is a redemption story. I was in a street gang in Cicero, 12th Street Players. I started at the age of 14. Um, I was shot 11 times, 4 occasions. I went to prison 3 times. Um,
How old
2000.
were you? How old were you when you first got shot?
When I first got shot, I was 17.
And what was
So,
the situation over?
it was a rival gang, the Latin Counts, out of Cicero. We were fighting over the neighborhood. My neighborhood that I grew up in was mostly Italian, white, a little bit of Mexican, but predominantly it was mostly Italians. So most of the guys that I grew up with was like a white street gang. And Latin Counts was a Latino gang that came from the Pilsen neighborhood, 18th Street. Uh, Once they started moving into the neighborhood, we started, kind of beefing over the territory,
Yeah.
because we were within blocks of each other. And then things started escalating, shootings and stuff like that. Uh, I ended up catching a couple bullets in between. I gave a full couple bullets back, but
Well, you got to, man. Sometimes you got to, right?
yeah,
I mean, these guys are coming. They're really trying to kill you. They're not trying to scare you or some shit like that. They're
Oh
trying to
no,
kill
no,
you.
no! And these guys hated me, so we were beefing for a long time, over the streets, shooting, fighting, spray painting, everything you think of, burning houses, shit.
Yeah.
It was a couple of people that lost their lives. None of my friends on my team, a few of their guys got popped.
So the first time you got shot, do you want to like walk us through the situation of what happened?
Yeah, so I was 17. We're rivaling over the neighborhood with the Latin counts.
Mm.
Uh, I went to the woods, to go drink and have a couple beers with a couple of guys. Uh, Somehow they had known the location where we were or whatever it was. So we ended up, we're in the middle of the woods. I hear some spray painting. I'm with my boy Grizzly, rest in peace. We approach these guys, hear the spray painting. Sure enough, it was the Latin counts from Cicero. Guy starts shooting. I took one bullet, got shot in the neck.
Oh, that was the time you got shot in the neck.
Yeah,
The first time.
yeah, it was the first time. So I
So
took a
that was the
bullet,
first. That was the first bullet you caught was in the neck.
was in the neck. So
Damn.
I get shot, in the woods. Right behind, there's a zoo over there, Brookfield Zoo. It's a dam we used to always drink at and stuff. So it was a known location. Whatever the circumstances were, we're in the middle of the woods. They're in the middle of the woods drinking, spray painting. I confront them. They confront me. Guy starts shooting. He's a little distant from me. He wasn't right up on me. So I end up taking a bullet in the neck, fall to the ground. You know, I get back up. I don't know. I got a strong neck.
You must, man. Shit.
Yeah, I get up. One of my friends, he's a pastor now. He lives in Alabama. He, you know, changed his life, because we had spoke about it recently, and he told me, after those events and stuff, it was really traumatizing for him. But yeah, he's a pastor now.
So,
Uh,
but you only got shot once in that time.
yeah, I only got shot once. They fired a couple rounds. This is like
Yeah.
20 years ago, 30 years ago. I
Did the
forget how long.
ambulance? Did the ambulance come get you, or did you
No.
guys?
So, like I said, I had to walk. I got up. I walked out of those woods. jumped in my guy's car, took me to the nearest hospital. They put me in immediate surgery. Luckily, it didn't hit any major arteries or anything major, because you got the aortic valve, so it had went in and out, but it had just missed my spinal cord by probably like a hair. Ended up going to prison or going to jail like shortly after this for something else, because I had the staples in my neck, and I
Thank
remember
you, Dana. I appreciate that. So you said you had staples in your neck from where the bullet went in, right?
Yeah, because even though it didn't hit anything, they still severed like the walls inside of the neck, so they had to do.
Did it come out? Did it go out the back?
Yeah, it went in and out. So I was out of the hospital within like 24 hours, and you would think that it'd probably calm me down, but it just made me more active in the streets, because now I felt like I had to get revenge, of course, and now now it was blood.
Now you're like, I want to get them back, and
right.
all your boys are probably like that too, right?
Yeah. Soon, straight from the hospital, straight to a meeting. We met up and had a meeting about it. Of course, we took action on that, and then like I said, things just escalated from there. These guys wanted me bad.
How far of a time span from when you got shot the first time to the second time? How much of a time span is it?
Couple of years, probably 3, 4, maybe 5 years later, same gang. I was driving through the neighborhood. I was with a female at the time, and we were in a car. And we were having a conversation about watching out. She's telling me I'm paranoid, but I know how these things are. Sure enough, I was at an intersection out of nowhere. Guy starts firing into the car, shoots me, bullet hits me in the back of the head. Doesn't penetrate me though. It just goes through the back of the skull, rides up, and we get stuck. So it was like
they must have saw you first, right?
Yeah. Like I said, these guys really, in Cicero, the Latin counts really wanted me, because, I had shot a couple of them guys, and, I was a problem for them. I wasn't one of the main guys or chiefs or the 12th Street players, nothing like that,
But just so people know, you're not like some innocent guy just walking down the street.
No,
right?
No,
yeah.
No, I was, like I said, when I started out, I was the guy that they gave the gun to. Here, you do this. You get the gun, you take care of it. And my crew, when you didn't do stuff like that, you got your nose broke, you got your ass beat. These guys weren't playing around. These are, old school Italians that, they were raised by with that mafia mentality. It was just in the blood. Like I said, it was in our DNA. Most of the guys that come from my crew have roots that go to the Chicago outfit, unlike most of these other gangs. The 12th Street players are mostly Italian gang, and either they had family or friends that were in the outfit, which is the mafia here in Chicago,
or they were associated with something to do with the outfit, right?
Right. These were hardcore guys. These guys weren't just some street punks in the gang, selling dope on the corner. It was a white street gang, but these guys, most of them, not all of them, but most of them, had, were real solid guys. And when, push came to shove, these were the dudes that, rule with an iron fist in Cicero. They had all the clout. They still do, the heavy hitters. Everybody knows who they are. But, yeah, these guys, they weren't fucking around, and that's why I wanted to join with these guys. We had other gangs, Latin Kings, Satan Disciples, 2-6. These are just some of the street gangs that we have here in Chicago, Maniacs. And then, as a kid, the crew that I grew up around were the 12th Street players. So that's where I felt that, I would fit in. And then, of course, I took a violations, which is your initiation into the gang. And then
you want to explain that?
So I joined the gang when I was 14. I started off in the crew in Berwyn. Even though I grew up in Cicero, I started off in Berwyn with these guys because that's where I live. My parents had moved out of Cicero. I joined with these guys. My violations in was, a couple of guys on both sides of me. You walk a line for 2-3 minutes. You walk to the end, take your ass whooping. You're in. And then of course, as you're a shorty,
you got to be able to make it to the other end.
Yeah.
And if you don't make it to the other end, they're not gonna.
No, they'll give you another ass whooping out. Yeah. That's how that goes. Yeah, that's how that went. And then once you're in and you're young shorty, you get sent on missions. You got to do what you're told, and that's just how it goes. And like I said, guys that I grew up with, they, I had to take a lot of ass beatings in the neighborhood. I'm not going to say that I didn't, because that's what made me, was these guys that had whooped my ass and, made me tougher. And then I started going to prison. I started learning how to bit, and I got too comfortable with the prison life, because I go in any prison in Illinois and have no issues. I could do the time. I don't have anybody on the outside.
You slip right back into the whole groove of things. Right. That's how I used to be too, man. I used to be in and out of prison for years.
Yeah, and that was the thing, was, I was getting so comfortable with it that I had spent more time behind bars than outside of the bars. And I was starting to miss out on life, because here I am. I'm 42 now, but I didn't have my children till I was like in my 30s. Because I started out late, and, I realized that I had wasted all that time inside prison.
Have you been to prison since you've had kids?
No. So that was where, that was my life changer.
Yeah, it's a big difference, man.
I have a 10-year-old autistic son named Gianni. So, and then I have 2 other daughters, me and my wife, Lucia. We have 3 children, beautiful family. So that's why, I watch what I say. I'm not looking for enemies in the streets. If anything, I'm trying to promote my neighborhood, do good things with it. Because like I said, when I started my documentary, it was a little controversial, because people I was involved with didn't want me to limelight them or, cast shadow on them or anything like that. But I wouldn't, But at the same time, my wife told me, you got to sell your story. I started a book while I was in prison, and that's where the seed was planted. And then when I got out of prison, of course, when I had my kids, I knew that I couldn't continue to do the same things and be, in my kids' life. And I didn't want to lose that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started, buckling down. I got a legit job. I've been working for 10 years, never been without or unemployed since. I'm a union Teamster 703. I work 6 days a week now. My wife's a stay-at-home mom. So, I got a pretty good life, I'm trying to financially gain from my past by doing this book and documentary. Hopefully we can start a series. I'm networking with people all across the country, you know. So there's guys like me that, have criminal past and stuff, and they want to change it around. And, I don't necessarily want to be a motivational speaker or tell kids not to do stuff.
Yeah, but you're showing people that were in that past life that it's possible that they can do something like that. They don't have to be in and out of prison constantly and have that be their whole. Because that was mine for a long time, man. I had life on the installment plan.
So yeah, that's the biggest thing about my story is that, not that I was some kingpin or some hitman or outfit guy or nothing like that. Although,
Oh, you weren't? You were? I thought you were, man. That's why I had you on.
Right. So that's the thing is, maybe I did do those things. Maybe I didn't do those things. I know that I'm a free man, but I do know that, I've done my dirt in the streets, and I have, no doubt about what I'm capable of. But what I'm trying to do is, because the police, like I said, where I lived, I was public enemy number 1. They had killed one of my friends probably about 20 years ago. And, just animosity and tension, it was escalating between me and the police to the point where they were either going to put me in jail for life or kill me or vice versa. I would end up killing them because it was just a lot of tension. Now I have a different, attitude and,
different outlook on the whole situation.
Yeah. But see, that's the other thing is, now you know, I want to take different avenues to approach different issues with the police because, like I said, I had a lot of police harassment. I had a lot of problems with the police, you know, locking me up, bogus charges, you know, killed my friend, you know, and I wasn't innocent, but at the same time, you know, a lot of these things didn't have to happen. And you see these things with, you know, George Floyd and stuff like that. So it kind of hit a nerve when I see that stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, I got friends that are police officers. I married into a police family. You know, that was a
Yeah,
good
we're gonna talk about that, man.
yeah.
So when after the second time you got shot, that was the time it went in the back of your head. But did you only get shot once
I had
that
got
time?
shot. I got shot 4 different times, and
Yeah, the
11 bullets, and
second
2
time.
of right, and 2 of those bullets I got shot in my head. So just to be walking, telling my story is just a blessing in itself, you know.
Yo,
But
if
that's just
that's not luck, man, I don't know what the fuck is, man.
that's just the tip of the iceberg in my life because that's why I decided to write the book and do a documentary because, like I said, you know, the things that were happening in my life and how things turned out is just incredible because I was supposed to be the guy that wasn't going to make it. And, you know, a lot of people that knew me in the streets would be like, oh man, he wasn't shit. You know, now it's a different story.
Yeah.
You know, now, you know, I could walk and I could talk and people know who I am. I hold my head up high. I don't have enemies like that. Um, you know, and things are going great. I get a lot of support, you know, but at the same time, you know what? I've done it. I've lived that life. I could have been, you know, a lot more deeper and involved, you know, because you know, I had access to a lot of people, and that's when I started learning how to like communicate and you know learn the ropes, you know, while I was in prison. So
Did you have a couple family members that were involved with the outfit?
yeah, so my uncles, my grandfather, were all associated with the Chicago outfit. My uncle
Mm.
Mike was started off as a driver, and then you know he started with the 42 gang, which is Al Capone crew, and that started with my grandfather, and then it went from his generation to my uncle. My uncle was a doorman in Cicero for the Spot Lounge. He was under James Marcello, who's currently in Colorado prison. And you know, my uncle speaks about his times and stuff working at the club. He doesn't identify, you know, outfit members and stuff like that. But I mean, it's public knowledge, you know, public info that he worked at the Spot Lounge. Of course, James Marcello had owned it, you know. And growing up as a kid, um, you know, I got introduced to certain guys that were in the outfit. You know, some of them are still alive today, and you know, I I started learning from these guys, like, you know, who was who, and, you know, and it's who you know in my town, you know, and everybody knows everybody. So that's why you got to be careful about what you say and, you know, just respect everybody. They don't have a problem with me doing my stuff because everybody knows that most of the stuff is,
Yeah, as long as you don't bring them up, right?
right, right,
Yeah, yeah,
right. And I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Because that
yeah.
ain't going to do me no good. But,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
it's your story. A lot of people get mad at other people about, oh, they're saying this and that, but that's their story. Like, you got your own shit. They have a different version of their story, you
So,
know?
so this is the thing is like when I started my documentaries, you know, some guys were leery and I had to confront some people and we had a couple meetings, you know, face to face like men, you know, and I just let them know that it was nothing about them. And, you know, then they're like, you know, then they wanted to be in the story, you know, but I told them, you know, just save it for me. That, you know, I focus on myself. I got enough stories to go for a lifetime. Like I said, you know, when I had met my wife, uh, that's when things started to change because here it is. I'm the one that they hated the most, the police, and here I married my wife, her sister. Uh, I got sentenced to 6 years in Maywood. Her sister was the clerk on the case. Uh, Definitely wasn't a fan of me at the time.
Yeah.
Uh, my brother-in-law, he was a police officer.
So
Um,
what year did you meet your wife? Is your wife gonna come on with you?
yeah, I'll bring her out in a couple minutes. So 2006, I got out of prison, Vandalia prison. I was released. I came home.
How long did you do in that stretch?
So on that bit, I had it was a 3-year bit, and I went down to Vandalia, and I think I did about a year or so. Got a little bit of good time, and that's a minimum prison. They call it Clandalia actually, because it was a lot of white guys that were down there, and it's just known for
It's like
racism.
out in the country
Yeah,
part of
yeah, way down
it's
south
in
in Illinois.
Illinois, right?
Yeah,
Illinois.
so that was my first experience with prison, was going down to Vandalia. Uh, I had like a short sentence. I got out on that bit. Day I got out, I came home, went straight to a bar.
What were you in prison? What were you in prison for? That time.
Believe it was stolen vehicle. So my thing was I was into thefts, burglaries, escalated to armed robberies. Then like I said, my crime started escalating. I started getting good at what I was doing. I started doing warehouses. Then, like I said, armed robberies and stuff where, guns were involved, and just, me being a habitual criminal in the system, my sentences were getting enhanced, and I was under what's a 6 to 30 law here in Illinois.
Kind of like a habitual offender, right?
Right. So when you continue to do the same crimes, they just start upping the ante and stuff, and you get extended terms. So
thank you, Tommy Agro. I appreciate that. He says, what, in your opinion, in what areas of Chicago does the outfit remain the strongest? I still see news coming out of Cicero.
No, Cicero. I think Cicero's innocent.
He said, what areas of Chicago does the outfit remain the strongest? I see news coming out of Cicero.
Nah, I don't think anything about Cicero.
No, he's saying what parts of Chicago are the strongest with mob control?
Probably everywhere. It's more of a political thing now.
Probably the whole damn state.
Well, I mean, let's be realistic here. The outfit isn't like it was back in the days, but let me tell you, they're still there, and they're very strong. Oh, yeah. And it's more of a political thing nowadays, because all that murder and stuff bringing light is not good stuff. And I'm gonna bring my wife in a minute.
So you said you did 3 years the last time?
My last bit was I had a 6-year sentence. So that was aggravated fleeing and looting in a stolen vehicle, and that was in Cicero. Ended up, going on a little speed chase down the expressway. I knew that, I was looking at doing some time at the time.
Yeah, and basically, if you run from the cops like that, you're going to prison.
Oh yeah, I was on parole, and I had a bunch of things going on at the moment. Yeah, I was involved with drugs, and like I said, with my criminal history and stuff, I knew what I was facing. At that day that happened, the officer, he had recognized me and did a U-turn on me, so I already knew what time it was. And I pulled over briefly, but I wasn't ready to go out that quick. So I just took off, and luckily nobody was hurt. They ended up catching me on the expressway, boxed me in and stuff. And like I said, I had to go and face, it was pretty humiliating when I had to go see my wife's sister. And that was what pretty much changed me, was,
Yeah, but that was the second time, right? Because you were already out from that first time. You didn't, when you got out that first time, you didn't know your wife, right?
Right. I didn't know her.
So then when after you were involved with your wife, and then you have to go back to the court, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. And like I said, now things are a lot different. I have 3 kids with her, and we're married. Her sister was, she loves me. My brother-in-law, being a police officer, was the one who offered me a job opportunity. Like I said, I started at the bottom. I was sweeping warehouses. I never missed a day. But I was with my kids. That's all I cared about. I was free, legit. I worked my way up from there. I got recognized. I got put into a union. I work for a great company now. My wife stays at home, but I don't really have worries. Do my documentary. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, still get something out of the deal. I'm looking for more opportunities. If there's people out there that want to do something similar, we collaborate, get something together. Like I said, I'm just trying to promote and network with people wherever possible. There's a lot of guys like me that have been to prison that want to turn it around, get their life straight. I've been clean for about 10 years. Haven't had any problems with the police. I have a good relationship with most of the police officers. I'm sure there's a couple that still walk around with a chip on their shoulder, but it is what it is. But for the most part, I see the police. I respect the police. After all this COVID shit and all this bullshit with, rioting and stuff, and then I see a lot of my friends going to jail. Some of them aren't going to get out till they're, old men. And then these younger guys, I seen a couple of my younger guys get killed in the streets. And that's where it started affecting me, because having 3 kids myself, I want to be careful about the message that I'm sending. I don't want to sit on television and do podcasts and promote bullshit. And, one thing I did when I was in prison was I got behind the books. I went to school. I got educated, because I had to start looking at my life was, did I want to spend the years that I had left, what did I want to do with it? Sit inside prison, go out in the streets, be an OG. I didn't want that.
Shit, a lot of people don't make it to that, man. They end up dead, or they end up gone forever.
But what I did was, of course, when I met my wife, I had got a 6-year sentence, and they took me away. I started pursuing my wife from prison.
So, hold on. So after you get out of prison, you go to a party and meet her, right? You met your wife at a party on Halloween or something?
Yeah.
So, because there's a lot more. I know there's a lot more to the story. So, you meet your wife, and then does your past catch up with you again, or are you still involved with the street?
Yeah. So my past, I'm still involved with drugs and stuff. Hanging out. The first bad decision I made was when I got out of prison, I went straight to a bar. That was the first thing. So right there, that was the first bad step. So I wasn't ready to make changes at that point. I get out of prison. I meet my wife. Of course, I fall in love, and I screw it up because I end up going back to prison.
But it's past things that catch up to you.
Right.
It's not like you're out doing. You get out of prison, you're out doing new things. It's just the past catches up.
Things, and went back to my old ways. So within a couple short months, I was back behind bars doing a 6-year sentence. I had to face her sister, who was the clerk on the case, and it was really humiliating going through that. And then here it is. I'm in love with this girl, so I start pursuing her from the prison, writing her letters. I wrote her every day.
Was she there when you got sentenced?
No. She at that point, she was 22.
You guys weren't really.
No, we weren't really nothing like serious at that point. We just had met, went out on a couple of dates, and we were just starting to get, a little serious, but it wasn't at that point yet. And I had ended up catching a 6-year sentence, but I knew once I had got locked up and stuff, I knew where my heart was, and I started writing her every day. And, she probably didn't take me serious the first couple months, and then she did. And I would write her every day, sometimes 2-3 letters a day. And that's how really my story began, was because in these letters, I started telling her, what I wanted out of life, like as far as a family and having children. and now it's all come true. You know, and we talk about that in my documentary because I planted the seed in my head that this is what I wanted out of life, and I had to make sacrifices and changes so that I wouldn't lose these people, you know. And
have you found it hard to adjust to life after prison and like
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to go from, because normally you get out of prison, you just go to the same old bullshit. Did you find it hard to like not lash out at people
yeah,
or go back to the old way you used to act?
yeah. So that's the thing is, you know, I get out of prison. This is after I do my 6 year sentence. I get out. You know, at that point, my wife's there for me.
Did you have problems in prison?
No, no, that's what I
Just
mean. But
normal shit like fighting and
no, yeah, I mean, I had a couple fights and stuff. But listen, when I got down to the joint, I it was like too easy, too easy. I knew the ins and outs. I knew how to, you know, make my moves in the joint. You know, I was real versatile. I could get along with blacks, Mexicans, whatever, and they all knew me. And that was the thing was I was just really too comfortable with this. And you know, and some of these guys they'll stay in communication with me because they got some stories too, and you know, they know how I got down while I was in prison. You know, I was legit. I was the soldier when I was in there, and once I got out in the streets, you know, it was better for me because I had more opportunities, you know, that were out there. I didn't take them up on those opportunities because I wanted to stay legit. And I just started working. I mean, I could have got involved with all kinds of stuff, but I just chose not to because at that point, you know, here I'm in my 30s. I knew if I was going back to prison, it was going to be like 20 years plus. And I
yeah,
wasn't,
after you got out of prison, did you have people trying to bring you back into
oh,
that
yeah,
life?
all the
Like,
time.
I got this,
Listen,
you know,
all the
I got a
time.
score over here, or just come with me to do this
I
one
had
thing.
people ask me, even to this day, you know, asking me all kinds of crazy shit. And I'm like,
Bro,
listen,
people try to suck me in all the time, and I'm like, I'm good. I don't want nothing to do with
yeah, I mean,
that.
I'll try to reach, you know, I had to cut a lot of people out of my life because of my kids, because, you know, I can't, you know, I can't be jealous or I can't be selfish and put my kids in a position where they gotta, you know, suffer because of something that I did in my life. So I keep my kids very separate, even my wife, uh, from that, you know, part of my life. My wife didn't know me when I was involved with that stuff. She met me after, and you know,
When she found out your background, like you getting shot and all this other stuff that you've been through in life, was she like, holy shit?
yeah, but I think she was more attracted to it, you know.
Like, oh, the bad boy, right?
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
shout out to Blood on the Razor Wire, man. Everyone in here should go check out his channel. He's got a good channel. He tries to teach kids to stay out of prison
Yeah, that's
and
what right, absolutely. So that's the thing is, you know, I don't want to get on here and promote bullshit and, you know, kids going out there and pulling out straps and, you know, trying to get gangster and stuff because there's nothing to prove. Listen, man, that gang life is temporary. I'm trust me, that gang stuff is temporary. You'll outgrow that, and those guys that are there won't be there later. You know, you hear it, all that, you know, this is for life, boom, you know, and you know that only goes so far because I mean yeah I still talk to a couple of the brothers that were 12th Street players that ran the streets with me and I got a lot of love for them, but it ain't the same. It ain't the same. I mean, my family comes first, you know.
shit. Go to the courthouse and sit in there and watch the sentencing and how many of their boys are there for them. You know, how many of
Oh, I
their
know.
people are sitting in the gallery while people are getting sentenced, like one after another. It's just you're just a number.
Oh,
It's
right.
insane. People don't give a shit, man.
No, no, they don't care.
If I could help one person stay out of prison,
Well,
then
listen, that's what it was, you know, when I had first got out, I was involved in some
shout out to
silly
Code of the Streets.
code of the streets. That's how it goes.
Yeah, it's my
You
boy,
know,
man.
but that's what it was when I started to do this, you know, I wanted to make sure that I was sending the right message, you know, but at the same time keeping it real. And that's what I did with my documentary is, I was involved with some people and I did some shit and I was luckily, able to overcome and get out of that without, becoming a snitch or selling out, myself to, on television, talking about other people. And it's been going great. You know what I mean? Because there's ways of doing that, telling your story without implicating other people and stuff. Like I said, I focus on me. And my name's Stevie Bullets. So that just speaks. Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, maybe I did something, maybe I didn't. But I leave it open to the viewers because the people that know me know what I was about and they know what I did. Obviously, there's some truth to some of these things,
Shit,
So I'm
11 holes in your body, man.
Right.
That's a lot of bullets, man.
So that's what it was, between the streets and my addiction with drugs and going to prison and stuff, the odds were stacked against me. The police didn't like me. It wasn't looking good for me in life. And, it took me to the age of 30 for me to change it. And then once I did, here I am now, 10 years in the making. All kinds of opportunities have come. My relationship.
I think that's why we get along so good, because we're the underdogs, man.
Yeah, because I had people getting on there and saying, "What the hell was he going to talk about? He never do shit. He wasn't nobody." And I'm thinking, well, most of the stuff I did, the people that know what I did, they know obviously I did something. So I mean, I got people on my team, and the streets know it. People in the streets in Cicero know it. I'm not fucking alone.
You don't have to prove shit to anybody.
Right.
I don't have to prove nothing to anyone. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm not trying to show people who I used to be. I'm trying to show people who I am now,
I don't have people talking shit because people in the streets know me. I handle my business. I ain't going to shoot you. But you ain't going to do shit to me. I know that. There ain't nobody in the streets that are going to do shit to me. I'm not afraid of nobody. I'm not saying that I'm,
invincible
or nothing, but I ain't no punk, man. And, and if
Damn right.
I made it this far in life, 42 years. I've been in some bad positions and I've outcome them, man. So, at this point, my focus is just, like I said, promoting good things, the brothers that I can help out that are struggling, a lot of things that I'm trying to focus on in my documentary is like, I see a lot of these guys in the rap game, music, I love music. So I've been trying to reach out because you see a lot of the stuff on the South Side with the GDs, BDs in Chicago, and these guys are talented artists, King Von, Little Durk, and these guys, they'll lose their life over this bullshit. They're out there beefing between each other,
killing each other for no reason, man.
Yeah, Duck. If you watch on the YouTube, you'll see, the war between the BDs and GDs on the South Side. And I got some of my homies that were down and enjoying with me, and I'm telling them, man, if they just took that energy and put it into some music and stuff like that, and be making a lot of money out here. But instead, they're out there beefing and throwing up videos, and it's all bullshit.
People have a different aspect of what cool is nowadays, man. Some of them wear fucking dresses and they think they're men. And I'm just
yeah, but here in Chicago, these guys are like making millions of dollars, and then they're getting killed in the street just for being on the corner, and it's over with. Game over.
Well, if you're making millions of dollars, do you think you should stand there on the fucking street with those kind of people?
But
probably not.
Right. But see, that's the mentality of these guys. They think that's, that's what it's about. And obviously it's not, that's, temporary and stuff like that. So, and I seen your guy Cuzzo. He came on here. Shout out to your boy,
Yeah, shout out to Cuzzo, man.
I like that.
I mean, I respect Cuzzo a lot because I'm like Cuzzo, because I talk to Cuzzo every day. And
he's got a job and stuff, right? Goes to work
every
day.
Yeah, he goes to work every day,
so
man.
He's like me. He wants to take his pass and do something legit with it and make some money so that he could survive. That's all I'm trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got a lot of gangster stories, and we could put it into content and put it on the big screen, and benefit like that. And that's all I'm trying to do is
I,
network
s-
with the neighborhood.
I said to him, I go, Cuzzo, why would you be in the gang and promote the gang shit and all this? He's like, he goes, Staxx, if I got out of the gang and I tried to talk to people about not going to prison and all that, think they would listen to me?
Right.
Probably not.
Right. Well,
and he's been through hell with these guys, so he like really legitly has love for the organization, because that's
but that's
who was there for him at the time,
right.
man.
So what it is that's all he knows. He doesn't understand
When
that
you were in
there's.
prison, they were asking you to be down with gangs that in there too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. As soon as you get down to the joint, that's how I roll. Jump right in.
Yeah,
Because
but
that's that.
you don't join a gang and like all of a sudden, oh, I joined the gang, I have protection. It doesn't work like that.
No,
You join a gang, you got to put in work.
exactly.
You don't join a gang and standing back at somebody. It doesn't.
No, you can
Definitely.
try that. You can try that, but they usually weed them out.
That's why Cuzzo is the real deal, man. He's as
Yeah,
real as
I
they
respect the
come.
guy. The guys, I listened to him. I seen, he's having some issues with those two dudes. But he's got a job. He's working. He's trying. You got to give props to those kind of guys.
No,
he
that ain't.
you know,
He's not having an issue. He just doesn't like people that steer the youth in a bad direction when they
hey,
have influence over people and they're
right.
using it for negative shit, man. It's
Hey, at least the man speaks his mind, says what he has to say. I got respect for that. That's
yeah.
how it goes. There's a lot of
Thank you,
guys like
Cherry
that.
Blossom. I appreciate you.
That's good. People hitting on you, right?
Yeah, man. I appreciate all the people that send me donations. I'm gonna have to split them with Stevie Bullets. It's like $30, man. I owe you 15.
Get some microphones and stuff. So yeah, so what it was when I met my wife 2006. Here I'm gonna let my wife come in and say her piece because she's dying to to speak. Come on. We have here, come on, that's it. Happy sweetest day to my beautiful wife, Lucia.
Hi,
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing great.
My motivation, my inspiration, my pain in my ass. And, she's the one that kind of keeps me in line. Not going to say we had a perfect marriage, but, you know what I mean? She stood behind me in my darkest days when I had nothing. And now we have a beautiful family. I feel like I hit the lottery in life. I can't ask for too much more. I got a beautiful Italian wife. I got 3 children. I got a beautiful home. I got a great job. 10 years I've been out of prison. You know,
Me too, man. 10 years.
yeah. Hey, listen, man. Once I started sitting in prison, and I was locked up for 11 months one time in solitary confinement because I had some type of bullshit issue with one of the Cook County guards. Ended up getting put in a hole. I sat in segregation in a cell by myself, 23 hours a day for 11 months.
They said hi, Mrs. Bullets.
Hello.
So, I had a lot of time to start thinking on my life. When I was in prison, the best thing I ever did was I went to college. I spent all the time that I was in there getting free education because if anybody knows, it costs a lot of money to go to college these days. So I took the opportunity and took every single class I could take. I did custodial maintenance, whatever they had, vocational training, so that when I got out, I could get a job. Then I got my GED. Then I was 1 credit or 2 credits shy of my associate's degree while I was in prison. When and that's something still I want to pursue. I haven't given up on that, but with 3 kids and work and it's hard to find time to do that stuff. So, even the book, I started the book while I was in prison. I never got to finish it. And then the opportunity came with Joel Seifert and James Forney to do this documentary. And they're like, hey, listen, we'll help you finish the book. And I was like, great, because I don't have the money or the time. I didn't know how to do anything with a book. I was just writing stuff down. And, it was just something I wanted to do. I didn't know if it was ever going to go anywhere. And,
it's part of your legacy, man. It's part of the whole package of who you are,
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, for me, everybody thought that I would either be dead or in jail. And instead, here I was, the guy that came up, started making money. I got legit, got a job, became a Teamster, ended up being a family man. I ended up with 3 kids, active in the community.
How about your wife? Did you have a lot of hope for him in the beginning, especially when he caught the case and he had to go back to prison?
No.
Were you like, oh, that's it?
I was so young. I mean, I was 22. I just met him. Being my family was totally against our relationship.
Sure they were.
As soon as they found out that me and him were talking, it was like, no. And I was like, too bad. I was very attracted to him, intrigued. We always had a good time together. And when he went away, I didn't know what was going to happen. Because, I mean, he's in there. I'm out here, And then
That's a long time. That's a long time.
It was a long time. And then for my sister to be there when he got sentenced, that was another thing. Because she had texted me and said, I just sentenced your boyfriend.
How long of a time was it from him catching the case, getting arrested, and were you in county jail? Were you like locked away?
Yeah.
Until you got sentenced, you didn't get out on bond.
I was gone.
So
2.5 years.
So right when you got arrested for this incident, you went right to jail. You didn't.
Right.
You didn't get out and get to talk to her and all that stuff.
No.
No.
So
no conversation.
So you knew,
I knew he was gone because I was very close with his sister, and that's how I met Steve, through his sister at her Halloween party, and I found out right away from her. She said he's in trouble, and I'm like, okay, now what? And I had no idea what the circumstances was because I haven't talked to him. I didn't even know what he did until my sister writes me and says he's gone. 6 years. You're not going to see him. Bye-bye. You're done.
How long did it take from when you guys were at that party and met each other? How long was it until he got arrested?
3 months.
It was brief.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And those 3 months, we were every day. We were with each other every single day.
Yeah.
Because he was living with his sisters at the time, and we were inseparable.
But the good thing
all
was,
of a sudden he gets arrested. Boom.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah. But the good thing was we stayed in touch, and like I said, I continued to pursue her from there. And she stuck around for me, and she even in the beginning, she wasn't, probably thinking that we were gonna be, come this far because the odds were against us. We had a little bit.
I'm sure you weren't like, oh, I'm going to change my life. I'm sure you weren't thinking that in your head, man.
Yeah.
You're like constantly getting in trouble and shit, and you're like basically doing what you know all the time,
Right. And I didn't think that I was going to change either. And then, of course, when she got pregnant, it was like, that was my wake-up call.
So once you got out, once you got out of prison,
I went back.
You went back again?
Went back a third time.
Mm-hmm.
So now what did you think?
So this is how this story starts. The last time that I had went back to prison, it was a parole violation. I was still in the streets.
But that was so you were out on parole from that case?
Yes.
And when you got out, did you guys go right back together? Like inseparable?
Yeah.
Yep.
And we were hitting it off, of course. And she got pregnant. We didn't know at the time. I went back on a parole violation. I went to Galesburg. I'm sitting in Galesburg prison to go see the parole board. Luckily, the parole board had released me because they, she found out she was pregnant. And I knew at that moment, like something, I had this feeling that something had happened. And then, of course, she tells me that she's pregnant while I'm in prison.
And you're like, fuck.
I'm like, wow, this is.
So
I talked to the parole board.
What did you think with the parole board thing, when he got arrested for the violation of parole? Were you like, damn, this is like what it's going to be? Is that what you were thinking?
I was at the parole hearing. I went to the parole hearing and I told them that I just found out I was pregnant, and he wasn't supposed to get released until 3 months after I had my son, and they released him that day to me.
Yeah. So what happened was,
what?
Yeah, this is a true story. So what happened was, I had spoke to the parole board. I explained the situation, that I was, struggling with drug addiction, and that I was ready to make changes in my life, and that I was going to be a father for the first time. And the lady told me that
if she didn't go, you wouldn't have got out.
No, right. So what happened was, when I spoke to the parole board, the lady, I remember telling me, she said, "You know what? I believe you." And they believed me, and they released me. And it was probably one of the best choices they made, because I started making changes. I got out, I was there for the birth of my son, and I wasn't supposed to be. And then I never went back, I got out. My son was motivation for me to change. I started working every day. I started doing roofing, which was a hard job. Then I got into the warehouse where I was sweeping floors for 3 years. But see, all that hard work paid off because I never missed a day. I started at this produce company, Testa Produce, on the south side of Chicago. I want to thank them for giving me the opportunity to work at their company, because they knew my story. They still let me go there.
People are asking how old you are. He's 42.
42 years old. So it took me till I was probably in my 30s to start to make a change, and I ended up having 3 children. I'm with my kids every day if I'm not at work. I've started doing this filming documentary, to financially, help my wife and my kids,
So I seen that clip. Remember we played that clip?
Yeah. So
it's pretty good, man.
Facebook page, My Way, the Cicero Way, Stevie Bullet Story. And I got TikTok, Stevie Bullets 12.
When is the documentary going to be out?
So with editing and stuff like that, there's really no set time or date, and then, financial wise, how far we can go with it. We're looking for more people to invest in me. But we're taking it a little slow. They say maybe 6 months or so. And then there's other opportunities like these podcasts and stuff that I've been doing. I've been getting little gigs on the side, as extras. I did a couple acting scenes. So, it opened up doors. I didn't have that chance. And if anything, it's just fun to do it.
Yeah, I saw that picture of you shooting the girl on the bed, right?
Yeah.
You're like, boo, boo.
Yeah, I can't release none of that stuff publicly because, that's for some other content that hasn't been released. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I have a contract right now with James Forney, Octane Rich Media. He did a documentary in 2001 with Britney Spears called Stages. So, these are people that have been around. They got experience in here. Like I said, the little short clip that we did with the trailer, I got a lot of good feedback on it. People want more of it. I got a really strong story. And once it comes out on film, I think people are going to like it because, it's pretty gangster, at the same time, it's authentic. It's real, I ain't out there snitching on people and shit like that. So
like a lot of other people are doing.
Yeah,
like a lot of other people do.
Throwing people under the bus and whatnot,
Squeak, squeak.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it goes,
Hey, if
Yeah,
you don't get
basically,
involved with that life, you won't ever have to worry about people like that, you know?
right, right. Yeah, that's the other thing is, I keep a distant with them people, I keep them at arm's length, if I ever needed something, which I never need, but if I did, it'd just be a phone call away, you know. So that's what, people, they can't ever get it twisted with me. It's not like, you know, I can go back to my old ways real quick, but do I need to go back to my old ways? No, I just try to live a peaceful life. I ain't got time for bullshit. I'm too old for all that. I made it this far. Just trying to just keep moving forward. Just stay the fuck out of my way, you know? Yeah. I mean, because that's just how I feel about it. There's a lot of people that got things to say, and you know what?
Negative things to say. There are a lot of people with negative things to say. I think if people don't got positive things to say and they don't want to uplift people, go be miserable by yourself,
Right.
man.
Right. Don't jump on there trolling and writing comments, and those
Thank
are
you,
the guys.
sis. I appreciate it.
That's good. You're getting these donations, my man. I appreciate you getting me on the show and stuff. I try to take these opportunities to, get my story out there so people can check it out and, give me some ideas and opinions of, what they want to hear about and stuff like that, and then we'll just take it to the next level, get it on the film,
Yeah.
Even with the music, I'm looking for all kinds of artists and stuff. I love rap, I'm really into, these Southside rappers and stuff that, that I see, Lil Durk and all these guys, man. I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah, you seem like you'd be into like rock and roll kind of music.
Like a biker, huh?
Yeah, like biker music type
Nah,
stuff.
I mean, I listen to a little bit of that, but I'm not into that.
I listen to everything, man. I listen to all genres of music.
I like gangster rap. I like rap.
I like the old school shit.
Yeah, I like all of it. I like all the new stuff too. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Little Durk. I see all that stuff. It's a lot of talent, and it's just like, man, these guys are gonna lose their life over nothing. They killed Duck.
I mean, that's the image. It's the image they want to portray, man, and that's what happens.
Man, but let's get this paper. That's what I'm about. Let's get this paper. All these little shorties out in these streets, man. They'll pull a gun real quick. But
I'm working with Double Dare Entertainment right now. We're gonna put out an album, man, because I do music. Shout out to Jason Doves at Double Dare.
Yeah, I mean, I like listen to anything. If it's good music, I appreciate it. I'm a music fan.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that 99 cents, man. Every penny counts.
That's right. That's right. It's thought that counts, my man. So, so for now, what I'm doing is, like I said, I've been reaching out to Cyril DePaggio.
Shout out to Cyril.
Cyril down in Miami, Mr.
Mob. The Mob King. When's he? When is
so
Mob King coming out? Do you know?
He should be having some stuff shortly. Within a couple months. Beginning of the year or something like that. I know his stuff. So what it was my wife had started watching some of his stuff on online, and she's like, "Hey, check this out." And I'm looking at it. It takes a little bit to impress me. I'm not a big TV person, but when I see something good that's authentic, I'm watching his storyline and the content, and I thought it was pretty gangster. And I told my wife, I said, I like to do something like that with my story, and everybody's story is a little different. For me, I was in the streets, active shooting and getting shot and robberies, and it just started escalating to like bigger crimes and stuff. And it got to the point where, I'd probably be looking at life sentences and stuff. So for me to get out from under that was just a blessing in itself. And then, I just told my wife, I said, we could talk about these things without, getting myself in trouble at the same time, because these are things that happened 20 years ago. So I pretty much know by going to prison as much as I did, I used to spend a lot of time in the law library. So I'm pretty up on the law. I'm not.
Amanda wants to know, what gang did you roll with?
The 12 Street Players. And this was our sign.
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you could see it out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I got a tattoo right here. So that was some of our stuff that we had.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, of course, a picture of my wife.
The boss, right there.
Let me see. Can you see?
My face.
Hit that like and send a buck. What the fuck? Eli, man, what's good, bro? Shout out to Eli.
So yeah, you know, people wanted me to start putting my story out there because they're like, you know, how did you survive through all that stuff and you know, make it through life without being locked up or sitting in a wheelchair? And you know, I ended up, you know, for me, things ended up better because I ended up with 3 kids, my wife, a good job, you know, and it doesn't always happen that way. Most of the guys that are in my position end up in the grave or locked up.
Do you think if you didn't have your wife, do you think you would be successful as you are now?
No, because you got to have somebody to motivate you in life. And, you know, like I said, she was there when I had absolutely nothing.
So she was like instrumental in you changing your life.
Listen, I was homeless. I was going through drug addiction. I had nothing to offer her. People had said horrible things about me. I was the person that, you know, I was a horrible person, man. And my wife looked past all that and seen something good in me. And if she didn't, I wouldn't be here today. My kids wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the life I do. And, you know, I don't take that for granted ever. Every single day that I wake up now, if you see my posts, I say good morning. You know, I wake up with a great attitude. You know, not a holy roller or nothing like that. I believe in God. But
I go to church, man. I go to church every week. I go to confession. I did a lot of bad stuff, man.
Listen, I grew up in a Catholic church. You know, I went to a Catholic school. My mother was a Christian. She instilled a lot of good in me, and that was what saved me. Was I came from a good foundation. So what happened when I was sitting in prison and stuff, and I started looking at my life, and I'm saying, man, you know, I was just an evil person, man. I was my brain was starting to turn rotten, and then I was starting to turn rotten in my heart because I had been around this stuff my entire life.
You start not having remorse, and you start not caring about nothing. I know. Right. I've been there, man. I've been addicted to drugs real bad, and I was homeless, just like you, man.
Listen, and I was in a dark place, man. And when I got to that place in my life, I just knew that it was either I was going to change or I was going to be headed for some bad shit, man. And luckily, you know, my wife pulled me out from that, and that was I'm so thankful for that because I know where I would be. I'd be dead, you know. And you know, once you're gone, there's no changing it, you know. And why would you want to waste these years? That's what it is. As here, I'm 42 years old, and I had wasted more than half of my life fucking in a jail cell, you know, when I could have been out here, you know, just living and doing life. You know, life is very short. So what it is, you know, I got people now around me. I got a good support system. I got my daughter in a good school. So, you know, I surround myself with good people, you know, and I continue to put it out there doing these podcasts and stuff like that, you know, just try to promote my story, get a little bit of feedback and opinions from people, you know, because some people, you know, they might not like what I'm doing. Some people might like it, you know. Everybody has an opinion.
Sis says, God bless Mrs. Bullet. She saved a life.
Thank you.
That's the first time I heard Bullet saving lives.
Well, we both saved each other.
Yeah, you know, we keep each other on ground. We do a good job, you know, co-parenting together.
Yeah, like if you didn't have him, where would your life have went?
Could have went the same way, You know, she was attracted to guys like me. So, you know,
Could
she
have got involved with some bad shit, you know?
Yeah. And that's what happens with a lot of these girls. You know, they get involved with some bad guy, screw their life up, and it's over with, man. I see a lot of these girls, they get taken
Is your
under.
favorite band of the Chicago? Is there your favorite band of the Chicago outfit? Is there a favorite band? Chicago has many great rock bands. Smashing Pumpkins, Burka Salt, Overkill, and Ministry.
Is there a favorite band? I don't know.
I don't know. I ate deep dish
I
pizza
never
in
asked them
Chicago.
guys. They probably like the oldies.
I've been to Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, my father drowned on the Mississippi River, I
Oh,
think.
I'm sorry to hear that.
People know that. And he got cremated in Peoria.
Oh, okay. That's kind of far from where I'm at.
And then I went out to Rock Island, Illinois, Muscatine, Iowa.
Wow.
I took a train all the way there, man.
It's crazy. So, you know, these things that happen in our life, you know, they can either make us stronger or destroy us. In my circumstances, I use it to make me a stronger person.
I don't know how to say that name, man. I'm not even gonna try. Magamund. A very nice thing to say about your wife. I hope everything works out for you and the fam, Steve.
Yeah. Everything's working out. You know what I mean? I got a good support system. I got a lot of co-workers that I work with that support my everything that I do. Like I said, I'm a Teamster 703. So I'm in good hands. You know, I stay on the straight and narrow for pretty much. You know, I try to be careful about what I say. You know, I don't want to sound like an imbecile coming out here promoting bullshit.
What do you think of drill music, Steve?
Never heard of drill music.
Drill or UK drill music, they said.
Don't know nothing about it.
Like the London drill shit. Did you ever hear it?
No, I pretty much stay local, you know, with Chicago bands and stuff like that. You know, I like R&B, hip hop, rap, you know, oldies a little bit. Not too much into the country music, you know.
I'll tell you after, but I have an A-list rock star coming on my show, bro.
I think you told me.
Can't
yeah,
say
I won't say nothing. Yeah, that's pretty cool, you know. That's
people are in for a fucking real big surprise, man.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, I like what you're doing. You know, I'm glad that we met and stuff, and I got this opportunity to go on your show. You know, I watch your podcast. Like I said, shout out to your man Cuzzo. I think he's on the right path. Yeah, definitely, and I think the more that he starts to do these podcasts, you know, he'll go in he'll get in a better direction of what he wants to do with his life, and that's good. You know, need more people out here showing love. You know, we don't need.
Yeah, man. People need to uplift each other and try to anything I can do to help you or your wife, your family, anything I can do, I'll do it, man.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, man. Is like I said, that's how me and Cyril DiPaggio became friends. Cyril's a big actor and stuff, so you know, it wasn't easy for me to get the guy's attention, but we had some personal things that had happened, and we ended up becoming friends in the situation. And
he's a great guy, man. I spoke with him a few times. He's a good guy.
Listen, I talk to Cyril pretty much on a daily basis. The guy's very, very loyal to me. Great guy. He's a great father. Takes care of his family. He's the kind of guy that, you know, when he tells you he's solid, he went to prison himself. He did 17 years. You know, and he had some people that were hating on him and stuff. But listen, he don't care. I don't care. He's out here trying to make money. He's got his family. That's all that matters. He's doing his thing, man. And you got to give props to guys like that. You know,
definitely.
Yeah, you know his stuff. You know, anybody that says different, they're just haters. That's all it is. My man is a real player. He's been loyal to me. You know, I didn't know him from Adam, and then just like I said, some situations arose, and we were able to help each other out, and we became friends after that. And that's just how it goes.
Hey, man, it's all good.
Right.
Well, maybe in the future we'll be able to link up and do something, man. Maybe if you guys come to New York City or something, we can link up.
Yeah,
halfway or something.
Listen, whatever you want to do, we'll make it happen. Like I said, I'm hooked up with a few people that across the country that support me. I also got a guy down there in Arizona, Julio Almanza, on Facebook. He's got a program called Wrong to Strong. This guy's a fucking beast. He's a bodybuilder.
Wrong to Strong?
Yeah.
He's been on my show, man.
Oh, so that's my man, guys
man.
like that I got a lot of props for. So
JC, JC from Wrong to Strong.
Yeah, that's his name.
He's been
JC.
on my show, bro.
Yeah, so listen.
Shout out to JC, man.
Shout out to you, brother. That's one
I'm gonna have to bring him back on. I'll have to bring him back on again.
So yeah, we're on the same page. We're just on a different agenda. He's into the cartel and street gangs. He's from Chicago. He ran, I believe, with the Latin Kings. So he knows the life. He ain't no punk. He'll confront you man to man, but he ain't about that. He's about promoting peace and doing things like he's doing, bodybuilding and whatnot. He does a little bit of motivational speaking, I believe.
Yeah.
But
Code of the Streets that Stevie Bullets stay up from Philly. I have 4 holes. I couldn't imagine 11. God bless.
Man, listen, those are just lessons, life lessons.
It's a lesson I don't want to feel, man.
Nah.
No.
Nah, because I get it. Those bullets, I'm walking and talking, but I get a pain, arthritis.
Bro, you can bring that shit to the scrapyard and get paid for all the lead that you had in your ass.
Yeah, I got lead in my head, and
I need fucking my money back for this shit, man. Damn.
Yeah.
Insane. For someone to even say they've been shot even one time, people get shot one time and die.
Listen, this is a sad story. My mom, God rest her soul, my mom she never condoned anything I did. She'd be the first person when it came to the police. She'd be the first person to be like, there he is. And I used to hate her for that. I could never understand my mother for that. But my mother was a good-hearted person, and she was strong in her beliefs. And when it came to stuff like that, she didn't condone it. And now being a parent myself, I respect her for that. And if my
there was a time my mother wouldn't tell on me, and then there was a time my mother would.
Oh yeah, my mom.
Now we're back to the I don't think she would. I don't know, man.
She had different beliefs.
She didn't raise me that way, is what she told me, and she just couldn't bear to think that I was involved with all this criminal activity. So the good thing was, before my mother passed, she seen me change my life, which is a blessing itself. And God bless her, because now she's seeing what I'm doing.
The major thing is your kids never have to see you like that or be that person. They never have to see that side of you.
Right. So that's the other thing is, once I had my kids, I've had a job ever since. I've never been jobless, because it meant something to me that my kids see me get up and go to work every day. Because I could be a drug dealer. I could make a phone call and, go back into the game like nothing. But I also understand that, there's a price to pay for that life, and I'm not willing to pay that price, So I choose to keep a legit job and go to work every day. And I feel great about it, because I go to work every day. I love my job. I could make a little more money, but you know what? To work with the people that I work with, and I love what I do. That itself is just a blessing. So when I go to work every day, it's like, I look at it like, wow, here's another 24 hours. I'm free. I got great people in my life, and that's how every day. That's how I look at it. Because
your life is so much different from what it was before. I'm sure you can't even imagine what it would be like to be locked up now, right?
No, I couldn't even sit in there for maybe 10 minutes without going.
I would go insane if I had to walk in that fucking building, man.
Well, that's what it was being locked up and confined for so many years. It just started getting to me, because I started seeing that what it was doing to me mentally and physically, and I woke up. I just said to myself, because I had family that wrote me. I had an uncle that stood behind me, and he used to, you know, he would send me all these kind of motivational books and all kinds of assignments. And the only way he would send me money is if I had did these assignments. So it was like, he would ask me to write this book, read this book and answer these questions. And at first I hated it. But then when you get hungry and you're sitting there and you got no comments, you're like, damn, all right, and start writing. And I did it. And then I started liking what I was reading because it was making sense to me. And a lot of these books were like Anthony Robbins motivational books. And if you know about him, he's an incredible author. And, once you start applying these things to your life, you'll see changes. And then you'll be like, wow, man,
And not drinking and not doing drugs is a big part of it,
right,
too, man.
Yeah, and
if I was doing drugs and I was drinking and I wasn't doing crime, my life would be fucking miserable.
Right. Well, that's what it was I knew I had to cut things out, and my problem was drugs and drinking. So I knew that if there was some way for me to cut that stuff out of my life, which I have, my life would get better. And then I just started making a lot of changes, started getting, staying busy. And my favorite inspirational book is The Giant Within. I forget who the author of that book is, but it was The Giant Within. And there's a couple of them, man. I used to read all kinds of motivational
Mine's
books.
Dharma Punks. I don't know if it's a motivational book, but it's Dharma Punks.
Well, all the books that my uncle
great book.
Me, yeah, reading is probably one of the best things I did while I was in prison because, what you take in is what you put out in life. So if you take in a lot of negative bullshit, you're going to put out a lot of negative bullshit. So I wouldn't read nothing negative. I started reading positive stuff, and it just, it changed my ways. It changed my thinking, and that's what you got to do in life. Because if you're content and you're happy, comfortable going in and out of prison and not getting anywhere in life, well, then continue to do it. You know what I mean? But if you want to change your life, you got to start making changes. And
your misery is refundable.
Right. Yeah, that's always there. So that's what it was you got to think of what you need to change and what you want in life, because everybody wants something different in life. Like I said, for me, I wanted to have a family and children and a wife and just live it, be real simple. And that's where I got, I don't want anything more. I'd love to be a millionaire or, have a jet or something like that.
Don't worry, that's what I'm working on, man. You don't have to worry about that. I'm working on that.
But I'll tell you this, I never doubted myself. I told my wife 10 years ago, I said, listen, I see myself one day being a millionaire. I see myself doing big things. And I told her this 10 years ago. And now some of these things are starting to happen. I never even thought I'd have an opportunity to do a documentary or a book, even if it doesn't go anywhere. You know what I mean?
I know, even to be an extra on a show is insane, man. Like I'm gonna be like they're gonna be recording and I'm gonna be in the movie. That's insane.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just to have these opportunities to do the podcast and speak and stuff like that. It's all good things. You know what I mean? And I just want to take it and do something good with it.
Well, your story shows that it's possible to be involved with a lot of bad things and being shot that many times and going to prison and your friend dying and everything else. For you to be able to change and turn that around, it's commendable, man.
Yeah, I mean, I lost two of my best friends in the streets. One was killed by the police and one was killed by a rival gang. And then on top of that, I had one of my buddies that I lived, in the street, grew up with pretty much my whole life. I seen his son get killed in the streets. And that's what really changed me, was because I seen this kid be born into this world and then he was killed out in the streets. And it devastated me because, I loved the kid, man. I really did. I loved the kid. And then to see him die at a young age was pretty much my was my wake up, man. Was, you know what? When you see stuff like that, if you go out there and you promote bullshit, then you're part of that problem. And I don't want to be part of that problem. You know, I want to get these kids, you know, if they want to get straight, like I said, I offer job opportunities to some of these guys. He was one of them. At that point, he didn't want to take me up on the job opportunity, get in the union or start working. And I told him, I say, hey, I respect that. But see, the price that you got to pay for that life isn't worth it because he's gone now. And, you know, when you go through stuff like that, you know, it's just, I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to help try to save somebody's life, man.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to go to no more wakes or funerals and stuff like that, you know.
I think that is the name of the book, man. Yeah, definitely, man. I don't want to be a part of none of that shit. I don't want no parts. If people are even acting like that's the way they live, I don't want no parts of it, man.
Well, that's what it is a lot of these younger kids, they look up to these guys that are you know, what they call the heavies or the kingpins out in these streets, and they think that, you know, that's the life, you know, that you get the nice cars, the money, the girls, you know. But there's
a lot of them get a misconception though, because the internet is spinning people's brains, man.
Yeah,
they get a misconception of what's really going on. They think they can talk any way they want to people, and there's no consequences.
Well, I can tell you from experience that most of the guys that, you know, get big in the game, they eventually get killed or told on or they get killed, man. You know, my wife had a cousin that, you know, he disappeared off the face of the earth in 2009. And you know, it's a very, very sad story when stuff like that happens. But when you get into the game, into the dope game like that, that's the price you pay. You know, I was pretty high up in the dope game myself. I was involved with some heavy people, you know, cartel outfit guys. And luckily, you know, I walked away from it before, you know, anything bad happened. But I knew it was getting to that point, you know, that, you know, something bad was eventually going to happen. You know, I didn't want nothing to happen to me. I didn't want to go to prison. And it just, you know, I just washed my hands of it and got out.
It's no way to live, man. It's no way to live, bro.
No, sir.
But yeah, you're doing the right thing now, man. And I gotta go make something to eat, bro. I'm starving.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on your show.
I gotta feed my I gotta feed my food addiction now, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the kids to the haunted house. Enjoy a little bit of Halloween, trick-or-treating stuff, Halloween fun. Look forward to being on your show whenever. And look for me on Facebook. Stevie Bullet Story, My Way, the Cicero Way, documentary coming soon. James Forney, Joey Seifert, shout out to you guys. Cyril DePaggio, my man, Mob King, look for his stuff. And again, thank you for having me on my show. To all the ladies, my beautiful wife, happy Sweetest Day.
Yeah, you guys have a great day, man. Shout out to Chicky and Damien and everybody, man. Code to the Streets, everyone that supports me. I appreciate every single one of you. And make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And I'll talk to you next time, man.
Salud.